Dear students, today we shall discuss another topic, that is origin of life. This is the topic from the evolutionary biology. So, origin of life is also called as organic evolution. We have to study major events in the history of life, that is in the origin of life, which are called chemogeny and biogeny. Now, let us try to understand what is the life. Life is the inherent capacity of organisms to utilize the outside material. That means the material which is present outside their body, like in the environment you have light, you have water, you have gases, you have food, and the organisms, being the living organisms, they can utilize them for production of energy, for having their growth, and for reproduction. And in all these processes, basically some biochemical reactions takes place inside the body, which is called the metabolism. And because all these reactions are taking place within the body of the living organisms, so you can say that the metabolism is taking place in a controlled manner. So, if you are having an organism which is utilizing the outside material and then showing the metabolism in a controlled manner for the production of energy, growth and reproduction, then you can say that it is living, and this is what the life is. The essential requirement for the origin of life was the formation of earth. Unless the earth was not formed, life was not possible. And then the formation of the initial environment, that means the environment which was present when the earth was formed. When both of these events have occurred, then they provided inorganic raw material from where the life has originated. And moreover, they have also provided the conditions in which the raw material was interacting with one another, one type of raw material, that means one type of inorganic molecules or the organic molecules, they were interacting with one another, and then they were producing the life. So, inorganic interacted to form organic, and then organic molecules interacted with one another, and they produce the life. So, this condition of production of the life from the inorganic raw material was possible only when the primitive type of the environment was there on the earth. It is not possible today, because today the environment is not conducive for the reactions, for these types of reactions to take place, which lead to the formation or the production of life. Most acceptable theory about the origin of life is the modern hypothesis of origin of life. It is also called biochemical origin of life, and this was given by Haeckel between 1834 to 1919. According to this theory, the most primitive organisms have been generated spontaneously at some time from some organic matter. That means the living organisms were formed from the organic matter, that too spontaneously. That means for the formation of which no specific reason was there, no specific conducive, or you can say the stimulus was there, as a result of formation action of some special external physical forces. Though at the primitive atmosphere some physical forces were there which made these living organisms from the organic matter. The physical forces were electric charges, UV radiations, in the rays of radioactive elements. Now, evidence in favor of this theory that this is the mechanism through which living organisms have been evolved was provided by the Haldane, A.I. Oparin and experiment of Stanley, Miller, Urey and many others. So, basically the biochemical theory can be discussed under following three headings. First is the origin of primitive atmosphere, chemical origin of life, chemogeny, that means life from the chemicals, and then the biological evolution of life or biogeny, that means life from life. Let us discuss first origin of primitive atmosphere. About 10 to 20 billion years ago, universe consisted of huge concentrated matter. This huge concentrated matter was called the cosmic material or the primeval matter. According to Big Bang theory, the universe came into existence some 15 billion years ago by a Big Bang. Big Bang means thermonuclear explosion of the dense entity, that means explosion of this cosmic material, and will eventually contract again. So, in future this exploded material will again contract. So, this is showing that this universe will end at some point of time in future. This big explosion, that means explosion of this cosmic material, the concentrated cosmic material, threw out numerous pieces of cosmic materials, which is called nebulae. Nebulae is the plural and the singular is nebula, which became organized slowly into groups of stars called galaxies. So, this material thrown out, grouped together in the form of stars, and it made the galaxies. In the universe, approximately 100,000 million galaxies are present there, and the galaxy in which we are living is called Akash Ganga or the Milky Way. And because the galaxy is the group of the stars, so sun is one of the millions of the stars of our galaxy, that means galaxy which is called Akash Ganga or Milky Way. And about 4.5 billion years ago, our earth in this galaxy came into existence from a huge spinning cloud of cosmic dust. So, again some cosmic dust was spinning so in the space, which formed the earth about 4.5 billion years ago. So, because the earth at that very point of time was a ball of the hot gases, so it started condensing, and due to the condensation the heavy metals such as iron, nickel sank into central part of the earth. They formed the central part of the earth called the molten core, and the lightest material like helium, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and carbon formed the gaseous atmosphere of this molten core. So, 5000 to 6000 degrees Celsius temperature was there at that very point of time. At this very temperature, atoms of these elements, that means which were light in weight and they were forming the atmosphere, interacted with one another and they formed the molecules, like hydrogen and hydrogen joined to form hydrogen molecule, hydrogen with oxygen formed water, oxygen and carbon formed carbon dioxide, nitrogen and nitrogen formed nitrogen molecule, carbon with hydrogen formed methane, and nitrogen with 3 molecule of hydrogen formed ammonia. But this water which was formed at that very point of time was not present in the liquid condition, it was present in the superheated form, because the temperature was 5000 to 6000 degrees Celsius. Primitive atmosphere of the earth was reducing atmosphere because hydrogen was abundant and free oxygen was absent. Because free oxygen was absent, so no oxidation of the complex organic compound was possible. Because you know, when say for example these atoms, once they combined, they form some chemicals, some molecules. So oxidation of these molecules was not possible because the atmosphere was reducing, the oxygen was not available. As the earth cooled, steam condensed into water droplets. So cooling process was continuous, and after considerable cooling, this superheated steam of the water was condensed into water droplets, which resulted into rain, and then primitive ocean was formed. Rest of the gases also got dissolved in the oceanic water. So like methane, like other gases, they also got dissolved in the oceanic water. Then started the chemical origin of life. This is called the chemogeny. The first step was the synthesis of organic molecule, the monomers. So we have seen that inorganic molecules were formed. So various inorganic molecules, they come together, they formed simple organic molecules, the monomers, like the sugars, like the fatty acids, like the glycerols, like the amino acids, like the organic bases, that means the purines and pyrimidines of nucleic acids. Energy for the formation of these monomers was provided by solar radiations, because at that very point of time no free oxygen was there, as a result no ozone was there. So the solar radiations coming from the sun were not prevented to come to the surface of the earth. And in addition to it, in addition to solar radiation, electric discharge such as lightning was also a source of energy for the formation of these monomers. These reactions took place partly in primitive atmosphere and mainly in the ocean, because liquid is always a good medium for the reactions to take place. Then the second step was spontaneous formation of complex organic compound, polymers. So from monomers, polymers were formed, like sugar and sugar combined together to form starch, amino acid and amino acid came together to form polypeptide and proteins. Likewise, fatty acids and glycerols formed fats, nitrogenous bases plus sugar plus phosphate came together to form the nucleic acid. So in this way, this starch, polypeptide protein, fats and nucleic acids, they were the large complex organic molecules which are now present in the living world. By accumulation of organic molecules, the sea ultimately became a sort of hot broth. Hot broth means a sort of soup, because in the water these things were available, so they were forming a soup like condition. Evidence for this was presented by Fox in 1950, who synthesized large molecule of proteins which are called proteinoids microsphere by heating amino acid under 130 to 180 degrees Celsius. It means at high temperature the monomers can come together and form the large molecules. Then the third step was spontaneous formation of the molecular aggregates, coacervates. Coacervate is a Latin word, coacervare, which means clump or heap. So it means coacervate is a heap of large molecules, the large organic molecules rather. Oparin and Sidney Fox held that large organic molecules synthesized abiotically because they were not synthesized by the living organisms as today living organisms are synthesizing them. On the primitive atmosphere, they came together and either spontaneously, that means large molecules they come together either spontaneously or due to intermolecular interactions, because some molecules are positive charge, others are negative charge, opposite charge always attract each other. So intermolecular attractions have also paved the way through which they come together. and the large colloidal aggregates like coacervates were formed. So, coacervate is basically a heap or clump of the large organic molecule. Because of zwitterinaic nature of the protein molecules, an envelope of water molecule was formed around each aggregate. You can see over here that this is the membrane like protection around the coacervate. So, it was because of the zwitterinaic nature of the protein molecule. What is the zwitterinaic nature? That an ion carrying both positive and negative charge, which enable the protein molecule to form hydrophilic complexes. Hydrophilic means water loving complexes. Once the water loving complexes were formed, then all of them have oriented themselves towards the water. As a result, the hydrophobic end, the other end, which was water hating end, was present inside. As a result, outside them a layer of the water molecule was formed. Now, this has created a condition of membrane. So, once the membrane was formed, it protected the enclosed molecule, that means heap of the large organic molecules, and kept them closer to increase the chance of chemical reactions. So, in this way, within the membrane they were very much close to each other, thus they were having more chance of chemical reactions, interactions. Both constructive and destructive reactions started at that very point of time, that some organic molecules were constructed, other were degraded. The colloidal aggregates selectively absorbed protein and other material from the ocean. So, from this membrane selectively some material was absorbed inside them. As a result, after having more material, so many coacervates were formed within the membrane, and when there was enough material present within the membrane, then this coacervate grew, and after achieving a growth, it was able to divide in order to retain the size. So, once they were able to divide, then it means these were the structures which were having the basic property of the cell, that is the division. Now, they are having a membrane around it, they are having a material inside it, and they are dividing. So, they are now looking like a cell. Then comes the biological evolution of life, or biogeny. So, abiogenesis that we have discussed till now is basically the formation of living cells from non-living organic compound. We have seen in the previous slides how inorganic compound have formed organic compound, and then the organic compound have formed is some sort of structure which is resembling to some extent with the cell, which was called the coacervate. So, from coacervate the first primitive living cells were formed, which were called protocell or ebiont or protobiont, and from the ebiont then first living cell was formed. So, this is basically the biogeny. So, formation of ebiont, let us look at first it. Coacervates, some authors called them the microspheres, had all the basic properties of living cells, such as they were showing the metabolism because constructive and destructive reactions were taking place, growth was there, they were dividing, so reproduction was there, but they were not the cell, as they lacked the complexity of molecular organizations present in today's cell. They were still having simple molecules, they were not having the enzyme, so they were not having the catalytic properties, they were not having the electron transport chain and the precise control of the nucleic acid. So, it means in order to form a cell, these things have to be achieved, that is complexity, that is formation of enzyme, and then the precise control of nucleic acid. Later, nucleic acid took over the control. So, see how it is progressing towards the formation of the cell. Once the coacervates were having the control of the nucleic acids, then it turned into a primitive living system, the ebiont. Then it was called the ebiont. It means ebiont, difference between coacervate and the ebiont is that the ebiont is having precise control on its structure from the nucleic acid point of view. Then formation of first living cell. So later some of the proteins by chance achieved the property of enzyme. So now you look at this, that the catalytic properties also achieved, and once the enzymes were formed, they speeded up the synthesis of various molecules in the eBiont. As a result, eBiont become more successful in processing food and producing energy as compared to the simple conservates. And under high temperature, DNA of these eBionts undergone mutations, and some of the mutations were very favorable to these eBionts, as they increased the ability of eBiont to compete for organic molecules in a medium, that means in the ocean, or enabled the eBiont to synthesize more required organic compound in them. So this is how after having mutations in the DNA, then the changes like the synthesis of the organic compound was also possible in the eBiont. Finally, a protein lipid membrane was formed around eBiont, and it allowed the accumulation of some molecules and the exclusion of other. So this is the property of cell, that cell always maintain its integrity, cell always maintain its structure. It retains some of the compound inside it, and it expels some material outside from inside to outside in order to maintain its internal environment at a constant rate. So it means now it is having achieved much like that of a cell. So it also improved the ability of eBiont to survive and compete. Thus, once it was able to synthesize the compound, once it was having the membrane around it, so once it was having the selective absorption of some material and the exclusion of other, then it was very successful structure. The process of growth and the division, which was present at very early point, at the very earliest point of time when the conservates were formed, but this process became more regular, precise and regulated after achieving these control of the DNA and the mutations. This product produced the first recognizable living cell or the organism. So this is how that the conservates formed the eBiont, and the eBiont, after achieving some properties, they turned into the living cell or the organisms. Thus, in conclusion, life originally arose from inorganic molecules of the primitive earth, that is abiogenesis, but today's life comes from pre-existing life only, that is biogenesis, because the conditions of the primitive earth are not present today. Such a high temperature and such a form of the energy which was present in the primitive atmosphere is not present today. So today on the earth, from the inorganic molecules, the organic molecules are not formed, and the living organisms are not generating de novo. The first cell were prokaryotes, but later with the development of membrane, other organelles appeared and they become eukaryote. So difference between prokaryote and eukaryote, that the eukaryote is having membraned organelles, whereas prokaryote is not having. In the eukaryotic cell, you are having mitochondria and the chloroplast. They were thought to have originated from prokaryotic cell that happened to live within other cells as symbionts. So within the prokaryotic cell, there was an association, symbiotic association. So some of the prokaryotic cells were living within the other cells. So later on, these prokaryotic cells have permanently settled in the cytoplasm of the other cells, and they have formed the mitochondria and the chloroplast. Organelles of eukaryotes might have evolved by invagination of the surface membrane of prokaryotic cells. So how the organelles, membraned organelles were formed? By the invagination of the membrane of the prokaryotic cell. So within the cell there were other organelles which were formed. Then once the cell was formed, then what happened, that earlier they were having the heterotrophic mode of nutritions. So eubionts were heterotrophs because they were acquiring ready material from surrounding. Since no free oxygen was present, hence they were anaerobes also. All the chemical reactions were taking place in the absence of oxygen. Then autotrophism developed. As the earth cooled, synthesis of organic molecules ceased because it was possible under high temperature. Further, the accumulated organic molecules, that means the molecules which were formed when the temperature was high, reduced. Why reduced? Because of their use as a food by early organisms. So organisms have utilized them. So no plenty of this organic molecules were present in the sea. So it was not now like the broth, like the soup. Perhaps at this time some of the heterotrophs evolved further through gene mutations and became capable of making their own molecules by chemosynthesis or photosynthesis. So at that very point of time, mutation has brought another change, that some of the prokaryotes were able to synthesize the required molecules in their body, either by using the energy from the chemicals, so it was called chemosynthesis, and either by using the energy from light, so it is called photosynthesis. Thus arose the autotrophs. Since autotrophs are those organisms which are capable of synthesizing their own required material. The appearance of autotrophs replenished the supply of organic material. So again, because otherwise the organic material was reducing at a greater speed, because no new organic material was being synthesized, because earth had cooled to a greater extent. But later on, when the autotrophs were formed, they started synthesis of new organic material. As a result, the new organic material was replenished. So in the supply, as a result, the heterotrophs which were dependent upon the ready-made material were again started getting the material. So they were evolving continuously and they are present today. Otherwise, if the autotrophs were if the energy or the organic material synthesized by the autotrophs was not provided, then the heterotrophs might have gone extinct today. So the chemoautotrophs, later on chemoautotrophs developed. They prepared the food. So among the autotrophs, they were the chemoautotrophs which developed first, because they were using the energy released during the inorganic chemical reactions, and this is also called chemosynthesis. Then developed the photoautotrophs, that is the synthesis of material by using the this light, and it was possible because the pigment chlorophyll was formed within them. They then prepared organic food by using sunlight energy. The earliest photosynthetic organisms lacked the biochemical pathway to produce oxygen. So as a result, still no free oxygen was present. So it means these photoautotrophs were again you can say they were the anaerobes. At later stage, oxygen releasing photosynthetic organism appeared, and they used water to get hydrogen and release oxygen. Earlier they were not able to use water, they utilized hydrogen from source other than the water, because it is the property of when the oxygen is present, then only the hydrogen, then the water can be utilized for taking the oxygen, for taking the hydrogen for the synthesis of the molecules. Additions of oxygen to the atmosphere started oxidizing the methane and ammonia, which began to disappear. So this is how that the oxygen started degradation of these molecules in the atmosphere. This oxygen also formed ozone layer. So once the ozone layer was formed, so it blocked the UV light coming from the sun. As a result, in today's atmosphere, you are not having such a high energy radiations coming directly to the earth. So that is why the formation of the organic molecules from inorganic, and then the formation of the living organism is not possible. In this way, photosynthesis changed the atmosphere to the present air, that means oxidizing atmosphere, having free oxygen. Earlier it was a reducing atmosphere. Now the there is a proof from the experiments of the Miller and the Urey that such type of conditions were present and they have led to the formation of living organisms. So, these scientists Miller and Urey, they designed a glass apparatus comprising of glass flask, a condenser and a liquid flask interconnected with tubes and fitted with source of energy. And then they run this some experiment by circulating some of the gases which were present in the primitive atmosphere, that is methane, ammonia, hydrogen, water vapor in this well designed apparatus for about 18 days, and then they were able to see that yes, the organic molecules have been formed. Say for example, this was the apparatus in which various whole of this apparatus was made up of the glass and were connected with the help of the tubes. They were having a connection to vacuum pump or gas supply to remove original air. So, they have a connection so that the air present inside it should get you can say you should get removed, because air is having the oxygen and the oxidizing conditions were not present in the primitive atmosphere. Then they also introduce gas mixture inside it which was having hydrogen, ammonia, methane. Then they have a beaker which was plotted on the top of a hot plate. So, because of the heat, water was boiling, as a result the water vapors were coming which was simulating with the conditions of the primitive atmosphere where the water was present in a superheated conditions. So, these water vapors along with these gases when reached over there, here the lightning, or you can say the energy source was provided in the form of the electrodes. So, it was simulating with the lightning of the primitive atmosphere which was the source of energy. So, they provided 75,000 volts to this very chamber, to this very gas flask. So, it was exactly a reducing atmosphere where oxygen was not present there, gases were present, water vapors were present, water was present in a superheated form, and then the source of the energy in the form of the lightning was present over there. Then what happened that once this gas travelled down, so here they have the condensation process, because you know when the earth in the at very early point of time, earth was very hot and then it started cooling down, and it was cooling down which has paved the way for the formation of organic molecule. So, what in this condensation apparatus, they input cold water from one side and the hot water was coming out from it. So, it was taking the hot or the heat present in the water along with it. So, it was giving a cooling type of atmosphere, it was cooling the gases present inside this tube. As a result, because of the cooling, the water vapors which were present in them were condensed to form the drops. So, this was the condition which was very much we have discussed prevailing in the primitive atmosphere, that upon cooling the water vapors turned into these rain droplets. So, this is exactly similar simulating conditions. As a result, this was a water having the dissolved gases which was exactly the situation when the oceans of the primitive atmosphere were having the dissolved gases in it. And when these gases were taken out from here, and it was they were observed that some organic compound were present here in this water also, like the monomers, like you can see over here the sugars, the amino acids like alanine and the glycine. So, it means yes, it was the primitive conditions present in this atmosphere which was simulating or resembling with the primitive condition of the earth. So, it means yes, it was possible and proven by this experiment that under these reducing condition, under very high temperature, under under the source of energy in the form of the lightning, it was possible that the organic molecules can be formed from the inorganic simple molecules. So, this is how that this experiment has proved that yes, the origin of life was basically from the organic and the inorganic molecules. Now, we have in the very beginning we have discussed a Big Bang theory through which the universe originated. So, unfortunately, we being a Muslims were not able to having a contact between the Quranic literature and then the scientific literature. Either we were having only Quranic literature, so peoples were knowing Quranic literature, they were not knowing the scientific temperament, and once those who were having the scientific temperament, they were unaware from the Quranic literature, because the Quran was given to us about 14 to 15 centuries ago, but the Big Bang theory is not so old. So, it means if we were able to have, if we were able to correlate the scientific knowledge with the Quranic knowledge, so the Big Bang theory might have originated very earlier, and that too from the persons who were reading the Quran, because here is an evidence. Avalam yarul lazina kafaru annas samawati wal ard kanata ratqan fafataknahuma. So, kanata, so you see the tarjama, क्या काफरों ने सॉरी यहाँ से देखें आप कि आसमान और ज़मीन दोनों बारिश और रवेदगी से बंद थे, बस हमने दोनों को खोल दिया. सो दिस इज़ एग्जैक्टली बिग बैंग थ्योरी, दोनों बंद थे. इट इज़ सिमिलर जहाँ पर ये कहा था कि अर्लियर जो भी ये कॉस्मिक मटेरियल था ये कंसनट्रेटेड फॉर्म में था और लेटर ऑन एक्सप्लोजन हुआ विच वाज कॉल्ड द बिग बैंग. सो अगर ये हमने कभी पढ़ा होता वेल इन टाइम और हमारे पास साइंटिफिक टेम्परामेंट भी होता, तो ये बिग बैंग थ्योरी 1300-1400 साल पहले आ जानी चाहिए थी और वो भी हम लोगों से आनी चाहिए थी. अकॉर्डिंगली ओरिजिन ऑफ दिस लाइफ फ्राम द वाटर दैट वी हैव डिस्कस्ड, आप देखेंगे उसकी भी एविडेंस यहाँ पर है कि वजअल्ना मिनल माई कुल्ल शैइन हई, कि हमने पानी से हर शय को पैदा किया. अफला युमिनून, क्या बस तुम ईमान नहीं लाते. इन एडिशन टू इट हमारे पास प्रूफ जो है वो सूरह नूर से भी है, जहाँ पर है कि वल्लाहु खलक कुल्ल दाब्बतिम मिन माइन, कि और अल्लाह ने हर जानवर पानी से पैदा किया. बट प्रॉब्लम इज़ दैट वी आर नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग द साइंस और वी आर नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग द कुरान. सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड बोथ ऑफ देम, देन वी may become a good scientist in future. Thanks. This is all about the origin of life.